Mm.
Hmm. So it is early morning. This time at least you do not awake to the sound of a bell.
So last night, was I able to find a book in this library?
Well,
The
yes,
library?
there's plenty of books in the library.
Perfect. Also, hey Catherine, what can you tell me about lycanthropes?
Well,
We don't actually need to repeat it. It doesn't take up time. But you generally get questioned unless it's important
okay, she'll generally answer then.
about like, what's the story of the curse? Are there any famous lycanthropes, etc. This, that, and the other thing.
I want to hear
And in reply to those, I would say, beggar!
Yeah, so unless it's like story important,
Well, there's lycanthropy appeared pretty much the same time when the sister form of planes was basically reconnected. The origin of the curse is not entirely known, but there have been a few lichens over the years of infamy or fame. The ones of the order themselves are probably largely among them. They are the most known lycanthropes, at least in and around Polythreme.
so at this point, Evelyn receives a sheet of paper slipped under her door that mainly details interesting stories about lycanthropes.
Can't ever give you anything important to do.
Well, you know what? I'll continue. I had to do my job. I was told
It's
to do
exactly what I wanted to happen. Thank you.
something. I had to do that for the morning.
When I wake up in the morning, I'll look at this stupid note.
There might be something useful there. There is something about the conjunction of the planes. Oh.
Right, but everyone knows that.
Well,
Fold it up and put it away and shake her head and get back to work.
sorry, morning.
Yeah, before I went to bed, I also drew like an hour more. Drew pictures in my notebook.
Mm-hmm.
What room is this?
No, seems like just sort of
A lounge.
not really a balcony. It's more just a room with a lot of windows.
Oh, okay.
They're pointed towards the sun ring of the medial district.
Oh yeah, can I wake up very early in the morning and knock on Kara's door?
Sure.
Knock knock.
wait like a few minutes before the door opens. Yes.
You seem like a capable fighter. Would you be up for some sparring in the morning before breakfast?
Sure. Drops her head.
And I guess if there's like, I don't know if there's something behind Quartermains or something, like a place with a little bit of space where we can just train a bit.
Quartermains doesn't really have a yard, unfortunately.
Okay. Then I guess I don't know the fucking. I don't. I'm. Maybe we shouldn't train where Dorks and Abelin work. Maybe we break something. I wouldn't want that. Where we can just train in the main entrance hall or something.
You could use the entrance hall. You could probably just move the couches to the side. of the
Let's
common room.
let's use the main entrance hall. It's also cool with the different
You could
elevations
do it
and
in the street in
stuff.
front of, but I mean, someone
No,
might call the
no.
guards.
The entrance hall is good.
Okay.
You guys want to roll initiative?
I mean, I don't really want to fight, but we could. But yeah, was about to say it. Let's just get some training in. Some warm up.
Yeah.
How seriously do you fight?
Kara's probably still like half asleep.
Yeah, and Soleil is probably trying out some cool stuff like jumping on here and then jumping on top of her or whatever, like some weird tactics, just to try out some things.
Okay, so casually.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also not using my real swords, just some wooden sticks or something.
Wow.
I feel like a training weapon. So everyone else is gonna wake up to like two people fighting in the hallway.
Yeah, and I'd say we make like some kind of rule that whenever one hits the other with their weapon, then that moment the fighting stops. Both go back to their initial position and then get each other again, basically like a fencing duel or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
can
you
count it.
definitely hear sort of
Do it.
wood hitting wood and sometimes hitting the stone ground, something like that.
Wow.
I'm gonna take Kieran and head down to the workshop.
I sure hope that cook is back for breakfast.
I'm also taking my bed sheet with me to the workshop.
Okay. As you get to the workshop, you notice that Donks is gone, and so is what remained of the mech.
And while you guys walk past, you can hear hey, the dong ding dong, dong.
Dong ding dong.
As she wakes up and takes like hits, she gets more serious about it.
Is the cook
Jack.
back this morning? I need to know these things.
No.
Maybe we have to hire a new one.
Eat way for breakfast.
Wait, where did the cook go? Is he just like on holiday?
Oof.
It's
Well.
on holiday.
That's a 6 breakfast.
I mean, you know, you're not really feeling it. You just sort of arrange a couple of cold meats on a plate, some cheese, some bread, crack an egg or two into a pan, let them fry, but it's about all the effort you can muster.
And then put it all in a blender.
Mm.
Does Catherine just walk between us? Or
Oh, no, I didn't know.
okay.
Ma'am, this is an active fight going on.
I cast fireball.
The whole just imagine someone coming into the hallway just trying to like hire the Quartermains and like everything is on fire. Everyone fights against each other.
Everything's on fire, people are screaming, you guys are still fighting. With like broken broom handles.
And then when you come into the left, there's this tiefling that carries a plate of cold meat through the fire.
This is fine.
But yeah, after a while, the Soleil just stands in front of Kara and takes a short bow. Thank you for the training.
No worries. You're a pretty good fighter too.
Let's get some breakfast.
I'm starving.
The cook didn't come back.
It is still rather early.
I thought they started. Yeah, in fact, I know it's a fact that cooks start early. I think our cook might have got taken, or something.
Here's the real mystery. Where's the cook?
Maybe that's the next arc.
Who the murder?
The next story arc.
The cook did it.
In the kitchen with a rusty plastic spoon.
The cook is the worst secret identity.
A rusty plastic
Yes.
spoon.
Now
It's
that's
plastic,
magic.
right? Yeah, it's a magic spoon. It's plastic. Rusty.
Can't wait for the Rust monster encounter.
So shall we be off this morning, or what's the...
I suppose if you all don't have any immediate business to attend to.
Sounds good to me.
Yep.
Yeah. Alright, I gotta take a plate.
Dude,
Here's your food, man.
eat the same.
I know you quick that.
Thank you.
I suppose I have to make a lunch detective. I'm just gonna be like bread and cheese because I can't think anything.
Okay. So, do you do anything before heading off to the manor?
No.
Beggar, I have finished altering my construct.
Mm-hmm.
Familiar? Using some of the bed sheets, I've kind of made little wings and kind of trimmed him down a bit. And he's now more of a bat. He's got like bat kind of quote unquote wings under his arms. Like kind of
Okay.
like a bat cloak. Just that I made out of like different tools and the bed sheet. And he's a bat today.
Does he fly with you, or is he just on your shoulder for now?
Right now he's just on my shoulder.
You make your way down the main road towards the sun ring, the sunlit district of the Mediocre. And even though the sun is still relatively low, it's extraordinarily bright where the district is bathed in night. And it's a good feeling to step out of this shadow of the city every now and then. The manor itself is bathed in the soft sunlight of the morning. From the outside, it seems rather modest. High walls, very few windows. It almost seems like a waste having a building like this in the sunlit ring. Nevertheless, as you approach at the entrance, a man in uniform seems to be waiting. At second glance, he could be a statue, the way he stands still at the door, rigid.
I'll approach and give him a wave. Hello.
Good morning, Ma'am Catherine. Here to inspect the manor, I suppose.
Indeed.
Good evening, sirs, ma'ams. I am Greaves, keeper of the house. If you would follow me, ma'am.
Is he saying ma'am or mom?
Well, ma'am is pronounced mom.
Oh, okay.
By him.
He leads you up the stairs and into a large courtyard, brightly lit. The roof appears to be entirely made of glass, letting in the sun. Please be careful not to fall into the fish pond, sirs, mums. It has happened before. Over here. And he walks over to the first building. This is Easterville's private abode. You'll of course have time to search it as I have the keys. Over this way, Mom. This is the aquarium. It contains living subjects for experimentation, and I believe Salona keeps her notes in here. Can see this interior as it does not have a door.
Is that a dolphin? Just a big fish.
Come along now. This is the potion room. Here, Volfert makes chemical reagents for further research or his own work, which I believe is potions. These over here are the private abodes of Volfert and Salona. You will of course be allowed to search them as I have the keys, Mum. Right here we have the gardens. Nothing of particular import, of course. I keep most of the plants. Here most of the chemical components are grown. I see to them regularly. But of course you're also welcome to search this room. To the next rooms, everyone please. This is the kitchen and dining area. Inside this area you also see two other figures that perk up off of their chairs as soon as you peek through the door. If I may introduce Mistress Salona, Sir Wolfert, these are the investigators, and Ma'am Catherine. You can of course question them at your leisure. This room over here is not of particular importance, but it is to the order. The small room he walks into on the side of the kitchen contains portraits, huge ones, of the heads of the Order of the Lichen. At the end of the hallway to the right hangs the portrait of the current head of the Order, Terran. Right along this way, sirs, ma'am. Be careful not to fall into the pond.
I just want to step really close to the pond and look into it.
This storage cellar contains food mostly. You can peruse it at your leisure, but I doubt there is anything in here that would be of import to the investigation. And of course, the most important room on this venture. This is the warehouse, but beyond here, come on through, please. Of course, the scene of the crime. It has remained untouched as per procedure. The room in front of you is scattered with loose notes, but what catches your eye is not the state of the room, but the curled, blackened body near the entrance. A body that doesn't look like it died within the past week, but it seems ancient, almost mummified. As you can see, Mom, she has not been moved following protocol. After the unsuccessful summon, she was secured in this room. That was it for the house. I will remain here if you need anything.
Thank you. What was his name again? Was it Jeeves?
What's that?
What was his name again?
Greaves.
Greaves. Okay. Alright. Let's get started, I guess. Dooba-dooba-doo-doo. Is that a broken window?
Everything in this room is a thing.
I know,
Like
I'm asking
to
you.
investigate it, then yes.
I do.
Yeah, you see these 3 windows seem to lead out to the street. You're almost at ground level with these windows.
Hmm.
It's almost like, a cellar window. Not a lot of light comes through here, but the window itself is considerably thick. It is double-plated glass. Basically, a window on each side of this strong stone wall. But a relatively thin hole or clash has been broken into this right one. Few shards of glass remain on the floor.
Hmm. Are they clean?
Would you like to investigate them?
Yes.
Then please give me a perception roll. Actually, give me an investigation roll.
Would my passive investigation at 21
No,
help? Okay.
Do you have keen mind?
keep in mind that that's passive investigation, not active. Passive investigation is,
It's
for
a nat
example,
20.
should someone walk by you. Perception is you realize that someone walks past you, you see what they're clothed in. Now, passive investigation would be you notice details such as sigils, etc.
Okay, well, so
However,
that,
as you're actively investigating something, you're not only looking at the details, but also trying to make sense of it.
okay. Well, it's a nat 20 plus 6.
There seems to be some residue left on the shards of glass.
Is it like a liquid or a
It's more like a dust.
dust? Hmm.
You could give me an Arcana check.
Okay. Kana. Where
The DC is 18.
Whoa! Probably not gonna.
Close,
Nope.
though.
6 plus 3. No.
It's definitely odd, but you don't know what to make of it.
Hmm. Anyone more familiar with the arcane?
Not really.
What is it that you need?
There's some kind of dust on this glass.
Take a quick look.
Would you like me to bring you something, sir? A glass of milk, perhaps?
I would really like one. But first,
Mm,
I have a question.
Yes, right away.
And Slay points at the skeleton lying there. How do you guys know that it's her?
Well, quite simply, that there are magical means to determine who one is, and her soul was found, but it is broken, I believe. Not all of the parts are there, so the summoning failed.
Okay.
But there
Oh.
is no doubt that it is Istavil, sir.
Good to know. I was just trying to see if they basically
course,
tried to summon the wrong spirit, and that's the reason it didn't work.
When did she die? What
About
exactly?
4 days ago, ma'am.
Were you able to determine the cause of the death?
He glances over at the body. Well, she was found like this.
Right.
Has anyone heard or seen anything
She
during
was
that day?
found in the morning after a long night. I believe no one heard or saw anything. At least none of the inhabitants of the manor, sir.
Who found the body?
Did she? Yeah, first that.
I believe it was Selona who found the body, ma'am.
Did she meet
Later, I'm
with
taking
anyone
about
beforehand?
10 minutes to fiddle constantly with my goggles and
Okay.
just shifting like different lenses as I'm working on ritually casting detect magic with my goggle. That's all I can do. But it's just me fiddling like as I'm like, yeah, I'll take a look at your dust. And I come and stand over there and I'm just like shifting the goggles for a solid 10 minutes without talking to you.
Give me an Arcana check.
Okay. That would be a... that's only a 7.
A 7.
17.
Oh, 17. Okay,
Oh.
well, that's different. I was like, 7? Okay, well, no, 17. You recognize that as you flip through the lenses, this is definitely residue of a spell. You're not quite sure what spell exactly, but you feel like you've seen this before. A sort of transportation spell. You just can't quite put your finger on it.
It's some sort of a spell residue. Maybe something to do with teleportation of some sort.
Alright.
I'll have to go back in my notes and see if I have anything that I've seen quite similar to this.
Okay. I will...
And then since I have detect magic, that'll be up technically for 10 minutes.
I'll check whatever this is.
It appears to be a broken wall sconce. But yeah, it's ripped clean out of the wall. Possibly signs of fighting. You're not quite sure.
Any markings on the wall to match it?
There is a small mark where it was ripped from the wall, sort of where the plate was attached with bolts, but Nothing extraordinary.
Mm.
I was gonna
Okay.
start looking
Okay, go ahead.
at all these. Do the same thing you're doing at all these papers and books and such, kind of gathering them up, seeing what's written on all of this research, perhaps.
As you collect the scattered books and papers, next to the bookcase here, let me- as you bend down to collect this loose page from the ground, you smell a strangely oily, acidic smell from the bookcase next to you.
Is there oil immediately visible on it?
Give me an investigation roll.
Which is a 13.
The smell
12.
isn't extremely extremely strong, but it seems to emanate from this black oily substance that is on the ground next to this bookcase, and you realize that a good portion of this bookcase is also drenched in this oily substance.
Ma'am, there seems to be some oil and such over here. I don't know if you'd like to take a sample with one of your vials. Not sure if it could be important.
Could be interesting. That's just as important.
True. I'll finish picking up all these pages while you're looking at it.
I'll take out one of my vials and try and carefully scoop some up. Am I detecting any magic from the substance?
As you look at this oil through your lenses, it shimmers almost in a way that oil would shimmer when it reflects light. And give me an intelligence roll. Just straight up intelligence.
That is a 20. Ooh, I'm knocking. Yeah, 21.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
From the viscosity of the substance and its acidic smell and the way it shimmers through the lenses, you can tell that this is cleanser oil. It burns better and a lot higher temperature than even alchemist's fire. And the way the bookcase is drenched in it, it almost seems as if someone was planning to set it aflame. No one really knows where cleanser oil comes from, except, of course, the cleansers themselves. And it is notoriously hard to come by. It is the entire reason why the cleansers are as powerful as they are now.
Can I attempt to gather as much as I can in various vials? So I'm not sure how
Yes.
much there.
You would get roughly around 2 vials. The rest of it has pretty much soaked into the wood and the books. But you collect what you can from the ground.
What's up with these two blast marks near me? What I'm assuming they are.
Give me an investigation check.
It's like a 10.
There are
That's
scorch and burn marks on the ground. Inside one of those scorch marks you see a broken bottle. Probably signs of a struggle, but could also be signs of an accident, though the way they are arrayed It seems like there was a fight.
Any residue on the bottle?
There seems to be a little bit of liquid left inside, but it's hard to tell what exactly it would be.
Can I give it a smell?
It smells faintly of oil.
Okay. I'll move on.
Red, would you please give me an intelligence roll?
Sure. That's gonna be a 4.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is like higher stuff on all of these notes. There's a lot of
Oh, I'm not
very...
reading notes. I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
picking them up and compiling them to give them to someone.
Yeah, I mean,
So that she doesn't have
looks
to
pretty
wander around.
complicated. You sort of just gather them up on the table then.
Yeah, so I picked up everything that looks kind of recent.
Mhm.
And then once Evelyn seems to be done collecting her oil, I hand them to her.
I'll take a look at the notes.
Is anyone else investigating anything before I keep going?
The casual.
I'll,
What?
I'll kneel next to the body and like look it over. And Leah, could you take a look at this?
Sure. I'll give it a look.
Both of you give me a medicine check.
Yeah, I am extremely good at medicine. That's why
I
asked
also
for
wanted to
help.
check the body.
Well, you have already like investigated 3 things. Don't make me put you in turn order.
10.
16.
To both of you, it's obvious that this is no natural death. The body is not only decayed, it is mummified. It is not as skeletal as it looks here. The flesh is basically completely dried, and the outside of the skin is blackened as if from time. You, Leah, additionally notice that there are wounds across the body. What looks like large claw marks.
Alright. Well, excluding the
Two of you,
obvious.
please give me an additional investigation roll.
No problem. Uh, 8.
19.
You almost didn't notice it, but as your gaze shifts over the corpse towards a healing potion that lies shattered and broken next to corpse's hand, you realize that in its closed fist, the corpse is holding something.
I will try to take the thing.
It's locked in this closed fist. You could
Sure.
try to pry it open.
Yes.
How carefully do you do so, and how?
Well, do I see what the object is, or is it like completely in her hand?
It seems to be almost completely in her hand. You can see edges of it peeking out.
I guess try to break away the fingers.
One by one.
Yeah.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
Sure. 11.
As you pry open the fingers, a little bit of dust falls out of the hand. But as you pry away the last finger, you realize that the corpse was holding a leaf. And this leaf is partially decayed. Half of it is fresh and green. The other half is skeletal, dried, and some of it blackened.
That's strange.
Give me a nature check. The DC for you is 20.
I
Okay,
believe.
Let's get that at 20. Five.
I mean, there's plenty of leaves around. I mean, even though it's a city, there's like an archaeology, there's plants in here, plants in the courtyard. It's weird how the leaf looks, but I mean, it's just a leaf.
Can I see that leaf being revealed?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay. Can I remember if what happened to the leaf is something a vampire would be capable of?
Give me an Arcana check.
It says I get advantage to recall information about Fey fiends were undead. Fey
It
fiends
does
were
not
undead.
apply.
Fine. That's so mean. Uh, 11.
You know that vampires are more inclined to be magical casters than the lycanthropy blood curse. However, being magical users, they have a large variety of spells. You can't exclude that a vampire could do this. But without any details on which spell exactly and if the individual is capable of it, a shot in the dark.
I'd like to cast Detect Good and Evil.
I don't think a lycanthrope would show up on that. But inside this room, You feel-
Aberrations, Celestial.
you feel nothing except the slightest of a shimmer from the tanks in the middle of the room. You can't make out anything in detail, but it's the only thing in a sea of nothing that you feel in this room.
I would also feel if a place has been magically consecrated or desecrated. Yeah. These, which tanks?
These two.
These two. Okay. Good to know.
Is there anything anyone in particular would like to ask the body? I may know a spell or two to ask it some questions.
I believe that's what they were referring to when they said they tried to get a hold of the soul. But they couldn't get any answers out of it because it's broken or something.
I'd also take a casual look at this casual coffin that's in this room.
Yeah,
It's
give me
just
an
a-
intelligence roll.
It's just a
Casual
funny shaped
coffin.
pouch.
Casual coffin in the room. 12.
Oh, yep, that's a coffin. It's padded. It's quite luxurious. And
So it's empty.
it's empty, and the obviously the connection in your mind is there. Vampire, coffin, coffin, vampire, but the coffin itself doesn't seem to function any purpose. It's just there in the corner.
We're gonna walk over to Greaves and ask him about the coffin. Why is there a coffin in this room?
Yes, I believe Easterville ordered it for some reason I'm not aware of, sir. I assume something with her research.
Yeah, he slightly narrows his eyes and is like, what kind of research do you need an empty coffin for?
I'm not quite sure, sir. I am but the butler, sir.
It's always the butler.
I too
What's
was
the-
about to interrogate Greaves.
Ablin, please give me an intelligence roll.
Sure. 18. Sorry, no, wrong. Straight intelligence?
Yes.
No, that's horrible. That's 10.
Oh god.
I rolled low.
Well, these notes seem to be very, very broadly on the theories of the source of the two blood curses, lycanthropy and vampirism. But, well, the notes aren't written that organized. It's kind of all over the place, so you're not quite sure which of these notes is more recent than the others.
I'm gonna pocket these notes if I can,
Okay.
to just do a more thorough delve through later if I have need of it. But I'm just gonna put them in my little.
What's this green stuff?
Do you try and smell it?
I'll look at it, I'll smell it.
Please take 1d6
Ah!
psychic damage.
Psychic
The
damage!
smell burns through your nose and you recoil.
Ah!
It seems like
Ah,
these
6.
broken bottles off the table, in whatever struggle they fell off, together they created some sort of acid. The smell is horrid.
Nice, your new character gets the first damage by sniffing stuff.
I have a very sensitive nose, okay? Alright. Was that part of the notes?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any flesh left on the body, or is it like just all bone?
No, it is flesh. It's mummified, as if you were to sun dry a body for a long time, or similar.
And it doesn't look like it was burned.
No.
Is there
In
puncture
fact,
wounds?
there is no smell of anything burned near the body.
Any holes on the neck?
No.
Anything weird about the health potion?
No. Seems like it shattered as she was trying to drink it, possibly to save herself. Clearly, it did not work.
Kara, have you made any sense of anything over here?
What's in these tubes?
These tanks seem to contain dead fish suspended in water. The other of the tanks contains a pig, half decayed, also suspended in this water.
And I get like a weird feeling from this. With
Not
my
from the tank you're standing in front of,
from where?
but the other tank, the one with the pig.
Right.
It's an odd feeling. It's like, I guess the best way to compare this is you have pomegranate flavored water instead of pomegranate juice. It's just faintly there, the slightest trace of something, but you can't quite tell what it is.
Is there something weird about this pig? Something
Give
wrong with
me
it?
an investigation roll.
Can I be over there assisting and helping her look it over?
Okay, sure. Then give me one with advantage.
$13.
Along the middle of its head seems to be a long scar, as if someone cut along there and it healed. You notice something though as you get to its mouth, that all of its teeth seem slightly elongated.
Do I get a sense of like what kind of wrong? Like
No,
undead, fiend?
it's just too faint.
Okay.
You'd wager that if there was anything in this room, even if it was just someone undead standing in the opposite corner, you probably wouldn't have felt this at all.
Hmm.
That's how faint it is.
Well, if it looks like from the notes that she was dabbling in some sort of trying to understand the source of the curse for both lycanthropy and vampirism. So maybe infecting this pig with some form of the curse.
Maybe. But would it be possible that she just something just went wrong with her experiment? That's what killed her. I mean, with all these like
Over by the window, it looked like there was some sort of spell that had broken the window. Some sort of, I say maybe some sort of teleportation version of some sort of spell, which would make me think that there was someone who was here. Was there any signs of injuries on the body?
did Leah point them out?
I would have.
Yeah.
Claw mark.
Were the
Right.
claw marks something that you would see? Could you just define anything from the claw marks? Either if it was another lycanthrope or something like a vampire?
Difficult to make out.
Oh, there was
look
oil
at Leah
from...
for like deeper insight.
Yeah, were you able to see what type of claw mark would have caused the injuries?
From the state of the body, it would have been hard to tell. They were definitely long claws. That the marks are still visible suggests that they were deep cuts, but it probably happened before the body was turned to its current state. So it, along with the rest of the body, is in a very unidentifiable manner.
What time of day is it?
It's still early morning.
Sun coming in through those windows pretty good.
Yeah.
She
Is
was
it
a
all on
vampire.
the body?
The sun?
Like, is the body in direct sunlight?
It doesn't quite reach.
But it could.
Unlikely, as the sun is at its lowest point, illuminating the street. But
I
it
mean,
doesn't
like-
quite reach the body. I mean, as soon as the sun would go further up, the sun would fall less and less into this room.
Would I remember, like, Istaville's scent?
Probably, yeah.
What's this coffin smell like?
Well, her scent is somewhat all over this room, and it is also on the coffin, but the coffin doesn't seem to have any scent in it particularly strong, so she probably didn't sleep in it, nor did anyone else from the smell of it.
Okay.
It might still be worth it to cost or to try and speak with the body at least, even if it doesn't work, to give us a clue.
It's always possible whoever was trying to speak to the body before was just completely incompetent. So, can't hurt to try again, right?